Now, the next topic is a topic close to my heart. I love artificial intelligence, and I'm using it in some creative ways at the moment, but not as creative as this chap. So please welcome to stage Johan Robert from Vekia, and he's going to talk about how artificial intelligence will revolutionise the supply chain. So welcome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, I wish you a warm welcome to this conference dedicated to how artificial intelligence will really revolutionize our supply chain. My name is Johan Robert. I'm a supply chain expert at Vekia. And as you may have already detected, I have a strong yet lovely French accent. Indeed, Vekia is a French-based company. It was created 10 years ago by a machine learning researcher from Cambridge University here in the UK, and then from the CNRS, which is the governmental research organization, the largest one in France. Our mission statement is really to help retailers and industrials to empower their teams and to improve their overall performances through applying artificial intelligence to their supply chains. Our solutions are currently in use in more than 70 countries worldwide, generating many different kinds of benefits. And this conference is all about these benefits, so I'm sure you'll be very interested in. So, unless you spent the last few years in a cave, you're probably aware that a revolution is on the move. Its name is artificial intelligence, but many refer to it as machine learning as well. AI and machine learning are two very hot buzzwords nowadays. In fact, they are everywhere, on the web, on TV, on radio, in conferences like today. So the question is why? Why such a buzz? Andrew Ng, who is an internationally recognized AI expert, has summed it up very well when he said AI is the new electricity. In fact, he said that AI will have an incredible impact on human activities. It's a game changer that will disrupt every industry in the same way that electricity had 100 years ago. So it's going to be huge and massive. And he's right. AI is pushing these IT boundaries so far that it's just like if we discovered a brand new world of possibilities. And it's no more just concept or ideas. AI is already here in our day-to-day lives. So I assume that most of you are pretty aware of what artificial intelligence is and how it has totally disrupted the way we build IT solutions. But for those who might be, let's say, less comfortable with these notions, let me share with you a very simple, non-technical executive summary. So artificial intelligence is a broad concept. It's a concept where machines are able to carry out tasks in a way that we, humans, would consider smart. Machine learning is not a concept, it's the application of the AI concept. It's based around the idea that machines should be able to really learn by themselves from the data. So what does this change? How do we build IT application 10 years ago, for example? Supply chain experts analyze the process. They defined a set of business rules. These rules were coded into algorithms, and those algorithms were applied to data to generate a specific output, let's say to produce a forecast, for example. With machine learning, when people build IT solutions, what are they doing now? They feed the machine with data, lots of data. And then the machines learn from themselves. They identify the patterns, they make the correlations, they determine the causal roots. And then they build a model, an automatically generated algorithm, the best possible one, the one that will have the best accuracy. Really, machines now learn for themselves. So, of course, that's a very simplified vision. It's not that yet human-free. There's still a lot of human experience, of human expertise, and that's where data scientists come into action. But really, that's the overall idea. So AI has thousands of applications, and even more are still to imagine. So we are really living in an exciting era. But keep in mind that AI is not early stage. It has already demonstrated its strong power in various fields, in banking, in insurance, in healthcare, image analysis, and in supply chains. And we're now going to focus on retail. So the question is, why is retailer's supply chain the ideal use case for artificial intelligence? Here is a very simple checklist that will help you understand why it's the best place. First, for a good business case, we need data. Machine learning is all about data, lots of different situations, of different cases that machines will learn from. Do we have enough data in supply chains? Definitely. We have billions of records, inventory, sales, per day, per store, per item, so at very low granularity. And we have even more data than that. We have all information about the products, about the stores, about the promotions. So all of this information is available within your organization. But to be exhaustive, there's even more information out of your organizations. There are literally hundreds of data sources, what we call exogenous data that we can use. It could be weather, it could be social media, macroeconomics indicators, demographics, information about the market, about your competitors. All of this is now available. Second point is we need some recurrent activities to automate. Are there tasks in supply chains that are performed every month, every week, or even better, every day? Yes, demand planning, inventory management are both daily challenges. Every day, your teams are performing the same analysis, making the same computations, and making the same kind of decisions every single day. Third, we need something complex, because if it's easy to find some compelling alternatives, why bother? So, are these daily tasks complex? Yes, they are. Accurately forecasting the demand is complex. Managing the inventories with a lot of constraints, sometimes opposite constraints, is complex. And moreover, your overall activities is getting more and more complex. Broader range of products, different sales channels, always delivering faster. All of this makes your supply chain complex. And finally, la cerise sur le gâteau, the cherry on the cake, is it worth it? Because we don't care about optimizing a costless activity. When I say cost, it could be economical, of course, but it could be social, it could be ecological. So how important is your supply chain to you? It's not important. It's essential. It's vital. In fact, inventory levels have a direct impact on both your top and bottom lines. On one hand, excess inventory will reduce your margins, will increase your costs, and will grab all your cash, preventing you from investing in other projects and sustaining your growth. And on the other hand, stockouts will prevent you from selling more, and moreover, it will generate bad customer experiences. So now with this very simple checklist in mind, you clearly understand why, when it comes to AI, supply chain is the very first place to focus on. Now let's be concrete. What kinds of supply chain tasks could be handled, could be automated, could be improved by artificial intelligence? As we said, AI is incredibly powerful when it comes to demand planning. For example, it's able to take into account very granular local information that we humans, or even our current solutions, are not able to detect or to take into account. Machine learning is able to identify this very tiny exception and to learn from them. It's able to determine the real demand driver. It's able to accurately forecast it's able to produce trustable forecasts for new products. It's not applying a generic life curve, using the standard pattern. It's really computing a specific store-by-store forecast. And it's based on the product description and all the available data. And this is evidently highly precious to you. And finally, and that's where a lot of beauty is, machine learning is able to keep learning. If you build a forecast model right now, how long will it remain valid? Will it be valid in a week, in a month? Will it still be valid in a year? With machine learning, planning is always on. So the models keeps being refreshed, data after data. Any change in the demand is detected so that the predictions will keep fitting the market's reality. And planning is always on. The second task, and sorry for the slide deck, the second task AI could improve in supply chain is the transformation of this forecast into operational decisions. This means determining optimal inventory levels, and proposing appropriate inventory movements, taking all constraints into account. Transportation plans, lead times, physical capacities, targeted service levels, buying conditions, and so on. In a single computation, AI will take billions of elements in consideration to propose you inventory movements that will not only improve your inventory levels, but your overall supply chain performances. So now that you have a clear understanding of what AI is, of why the supply chain is an ideal place to look at, and what types of activities AI is very good at improving, the next question is, what benefits could you, retailer, expect from it? How will it impact your activity? As we said, AI is very good at improving demand planning and inventory management. And this generates 5 major types of benefits. Logistical impacts, impacts on your business, on your customers, social impacts, and finally, ecological improvements. So let's go through this list, and let's start with the logistical impacts. Supply chain management is all about anticipating needs as accurately as possible. But due to uncertainty, you always have to add contingency stocks in case of forecasting errors. AI is here to improve your forecast capabilities. So with a better vision of the future, you are able to make better decisions and to reduce these safety cushions. This directly leads to less stocks and at the same time to less stockouts, which are 2 major KPIs of the supply chain. And this also enables a better anticipation of your activity, both on near term and short and long term. You are then in a position of acting instead of reacting, in a position of handling a coming situation instead of undergoing it. What about the business benefits now? Less stockouts usually means more sales. In other words, an increased revenue. Less stocks means a reduced working capital, which means that a lot of money can be saved. These 2 benefits drastically improve your free cash flow, and this improves your investment capacities. You're then able to handle other projects, to enhance your performances, to sustain your growth, to reduce your costs. And is it worth saying that product availability is one of the fundamentals of your customer satisfaction? Now customers have so many retailers, so many pure players, they can get what they want from. If your customer doesn't find what he's looking for, chances are he will go for another vendor. So now regarding these benefits, I know what you're waiting for. You want me the proof. You want to see the actual result. Not the mumbo jumbo about technology, not the theory, but really show me the real results that only machine learning is able to deliver better than anyone else. So let's first talk about Leroy Merlin. Leroy Merlin is the 4th largest DIY retailer in the world, so it's a big player. Our solutions are currently improving their supply chain in multiple countries on almost every kind of product. Earlier this year, this case was highlighted by The Economist, and in this article, the goal was to demonstrate that retailers are now benefiting from AI at large scale. So what benefits did Leroy Merlin measure by itself using our solution? An 8% stock decrease, and at the same time, a 50% reduction in stock outs. Given the size of its business, when we are talking about an 8% stock decrease, we are talking in fact of something like 80 million pounds, a massive saving of working capital. What about fashion then? Here's the case of the ID Kids group. ID Kids is a retailer specialized in kids fashion. It operates a very huge international network of more than 1,000 stores. And its 3 brands, OKD, OBaby, and Jacadi, are currently among the leaders in more than 70 countries. So it's a top player. In a recent interview with the French newspaper Les Echos, the supply chain director shared the benefits it obtained from implementing our solutions. He prompted at up to 4% decrease in stocks and at the same time, a massive 2% increase in sales. So once again, given the size of its business, we are here talking of not less than millions of pounds of additional revenue, plus millions of pounds of saved working capital. once again, it's a massive impact. But AI has even more impact on supply chain. Better anticipation, appropriate volumes, all constraints considered, this will improve your employees' working conditions, both in your stores and warehouses. And it will have the same kind of impacts for your suppliers, for your partners. But the question is, what about your demand planners? What about your inventory managers? How AI will impact them? Will AI disrupt their job? Yes, definitely. Performance computation, automation, most of our current daily activities will be automated by machines. That's a fact. Will their job disappear then? No. And I really want to say no. Demand planners and inventory managers are not going to be replaced by machines. They will be empowered by machines. At Vekia, we are believers of a supply chain where human and AI collaborates together. Through automating complex and long tasks, AI will save hundreds of hours of hard work, like the daily scrolling of endless Excel files. This saved time could then be used to make high value analysis, to make more strategical decisions, to spend time in enhancing the system, adding new data, improving the data quality, to communicate more with your internal teams, with your partners, with your suppliers. In fact, your teams will generate more value for your organization than they ever did. What we're talking here is a shift. It's not just a technological shift. It's more than that. It's a shift in mindset. Missions will move. We are moving from the logistics of goods to the logistics of data. And finally, last but not least, AI will help you reduce your ecological footprint. Just a few years ago, a retail group stated that 93% of its ecological footprint was due to its supply chain. 93%. What about you? What's your ecological footprint? Optimized inventory means lower stocks, which means smaller warehouses, less energy, less waste, less transport. How many of your trucks are currently running partially loaded? Recent studies state that AI could increase the average truck filling from the current 2/3 to up to 90%. It's an increase of 24%. Imagine the impact of making one truck out of 4 disappear from our roads. So time is to conclude now. So as we've seen, AI is the new electricity, and this electricity is going to power most supply chain. It will disrupt the way we used to operate supply chain. It's a shift, it's a technological shift, it's a shift in mindset. And leaders which have already adopted AI have measured many positive impacts from it. Now, a single important question remains, and I will conclude on this question. How will you manage this change? Will you resist change, or will you embrace it as a huge opportunity for you and for your organization? Thanks a lot. So, to be very respectful of the schedule, I won't go for the traditional live Q&A session, but really feel free to come to me. We can chat afterwards, or you can contact me directly by mail or via my LinkedIn profile. I will be pleased to exchange with you about your questions, about your context or whatever. Thanks a lot. Merci à tous et un bon appétit à tous.